back. WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We're doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. I got to get the levels right here every week. I'm booming in. I'm fading out. We're at Mother's. We're at Federal Hill. My friend Dave Rather came through on short notice. The mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott, was diagnosed with the COVID thing that we've heard going around. He'll be joining us at Coco's next month. So hi, Marcella. We'll get there. And I can't think of a better place to sort of pinch hit, relief pitch, than the fifth quarter. I've spent many, many nights here on the Purple Patio. Kelly Rather's here because Dave's partying in New Orleans. Like, how appropriate is that? For my birthday or no?
No.
Okay, just checking.
It's the reschedule of Jazz Fest, which was actually canceled again, but the night shows are still happening. So he's down there dancing in the streets, and we're sitting on the Purple Patio.
All right, well, I'm on the Purple Patio. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Let yourself play. You're going to ask me why here, why the Crab Cake Tour. You want me to explain, because it's not like we have been green rooming here for an hour and telling our life stories, which I never do before I do radio, like ever. But I've been coming here forever, and I'm trying to think of, like, when I met Dave or where it was. Was it down on Ford Avenue? Is that possible that I
Yes, you met him at
Empty Pockets. I had to think of the name of the joint. All right, nice.
Yep.
So that would have been 95, 6, 7, somewhere in there?
95, 96.
No Ravens existed when I met Dave.
Exactly.
When did you meet Dave?
It was February 1997.
Oh, so I knew Dave before you knew Dave.
Yes.
Oh, wow. All right, see that? True love. And I thought I was in love once or twice at Mother's in Federal Hill as well. But so I did the Crab Cake Tour to, like, come out and hang out with people because you guys lived through the pandemic, like everyone. At the beginning of the pandemic, sports stopped. And I thought, well, what's the most important thing going on? It's saving our neighborhood, saving our businesses, saving our jobs. And I have this radio thing and this audience, and I like to eat. And we moved to talking about saving business. Dave came on. I remember, vividly trying to get I thought of every business owner I knew, and there was no one doing well. No. On my liquor store, Paul King was doing well for a minute or two.
The liquor stores were crushing it.
And the weed stores did okay, too. But I don't have any. If you want to sponsor the show with cannabis, please, nest at BaltimorePositive.com. So I moved things, and then sports came back, and I started the Baltimore Positive thing. I was thinking about running for mayor. I told Dave that a year and a half ago. I did not. And COVID happened, and I started eating crab cakes this year because there's nothing more Baltimore than a crab cake.
That is true.
You are Pasadena through and through.
Yes.
And you've never had a crab cake.
That is true.
How do you find out you're shellfish intolerant? How do you know? Do you blow up like if you eat a shrimp right now, will you get sick?
Yes. I would need an EpiPen.
Really?
And I would need to go to the hospital.
Has this happened before?
It has, many times.
Whoa. Does somebody put shellfish? It's like peanuts on a plane.
Right. It's like cross-contamination. Somebody cuts somebody's crab cake and then cuts my sandwich.
Gosh.
So I have to.
I was in Jamaica 15 years ago, and they were cooking lobster on the same grill with burgers. Mm-hmm. And somebody like you happened.
Right.
And I'm like, that's frightening. Allergies are frightening.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, but you're not. By the way, Tracy Gosson's coming today as one of our guests. Every guest today that I know of is female. So we got women-owned businesses here in Federal Hill. My dear friend Teresa Cangelosi from Sobo Botanicals is coming over. Anna Leventis is coming over from Sobo Cafe, one of my wife's favorite places in the neighborhood. I was here having gumbo a couple weeks ago, and you still do the Purple Patio. What's Purple Patio going to look like on a Monday night for Monday Night Football here?
Capacity.
I love that. I mean, it feels good to see people back, though.
It is. It's great.
I never thought it would all be taken away. So I think the Crab Cake Tour for me has got me all over the state. And you guys have pinch hit this week. I mean, I can literally see my I live right there. I can see the top of my building from here. And you guys pinch hit into this thing. I want to tell your story. Dave came on, sort of glossed over this and that and music and whatever. The night I was here, you had Rebirth here.
Okay.
So it was about a month ago, and Rebirth was playing in the room back here. And when I think to myself how many or few times I've been in your back room, because I forget it's there. I'm old school.
Right.
I ate here when it was a diner, Right. So, and the music part of this and Dave's soul, Dave sold his mother's. It's a shame he's not here, but
Right.
this is really cool because you're going to like tell stories behind it. This is going to be really good.
Right.
Because if he were here, it wouldn't be the same. So this will be better.
Okay.
Mother's is like this vision, this dream. Anybody in Timonium knows. Anybody down in Anne Arundel County where you're – I didn't know that you were from Anne Arundel County and that's why it existed. Tell me why this exists here, because this whole neighborhood has changed so much. I've lived here 18 years, lived downtown 18 years. But, I mean, I've been partying on Cross Street. When I think about Turner's and I think about the 8x10 and seeing Tommy Conwell there in the 90s, I mean, the Red Hot Chili Peppers played the 8x10.
Right.
So
I worked at Turner's through college. That's how Dave and I met.
What?
Yup.
So Turner's, for anybody that ever went to Turner's, this is true, and you know if you know, okay? What is Turner's now? What is on the corner?
Crossbar.
Crossbar. Okay, so I just want to let everybody know what it is. That's the German
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
Like beer garden.
So Turner's in I don't think I was 21, so I want to call it 87 or 88.
Okay.
I used to go to Hammerjacks. Had a backstage pass at Hammerjacks famously when I was 17. Like Cameron Crowe, almost famous, right?
That's
so
amazing.
not the first Hammers, the second, the big one,
the big one
cultural,
under
right. the bridge,
right.
So this was the neighborhood nearest there.
Right.
So like on the way in or out, I had some friends from Dundalk that had heard about this place called Cross Street. And they actually had a pit beef stand. They had a dude that shaved pit beef right out in front of what is now McGurk's.
Right.
I don't know what the hell it was then.
Tio Locos.
It was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay, now you're making sense to me. Okay.
Okay.
So Turner's was unique, and this would be like the secret super handshake where you would know you were there. It had
The side door?
mind Fs for pictures.
Oh, yeah.
It had hologram, depth-oriented photos where you would look into the little box and you would see a little naked man in the corner, or you'd see a lady with a gun, or you'd see some image of Jack Nicholson from The Shining. Like there was weird stuff going on over Turner's.
Jim tried to turn it into a holographic museum and was denied museum status.
Well, that's BS.
I know.
See, I remember that about Turner's.
Right.
See, we're old. You probably served me a drink. And
I probably did.
You absolutely served me a drink.
Of course I did.
I went in there a lot. I mean, it was sort of a hang where you might meet a girl. The beer was cheap. There was parking. Beer was $1. I mean, beer was like neighborhood pricing, not like Fells Point in the late '80s or Hammerjacks was like $3.50 for a beer. I ain't paying Louie no $3.50 for no beer.
Right. It was $1.50 for a Miller Lite when I worked there.
They better bring Kiss in. They're going to get $3.50 from me, and now I'm paying $18 at Merriweather. It's insane. We're mothers. It is the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. What's we do on the Crab Cake Tour? Everybody asks for like a script, and I'm like, we just get together and tell stories about Baltimore and about crab cakes. If you eat crab cakes.
Sorry.
Now, I will be honest. Dave and I are Facebook friends and like this and that, and we meander in and out of lives and music and whatever, sports, business, all of that. 2 weeks ago, and this is Facebook being what the lady on 60 Minutes said, which is mostly nefarious, not even partly, mostly nefarious. Your crab cake popped up, and Dave shared a picture of your crab cake, and it looked delicious.
Okay.
I mean, I'll find it because it was on his thread.
Okay.
But it was your Pasadena location on like a special night. You were doing like a special crab cake deal. It was the special of the night or something.
Right.
A week or two ago. So I saw that, and I'm like, I've had a lot of. See, you don't get mouthwatery about crab cakes.
I don't.
What do you like to eat? What would get you excited?
Subs.
Subs.
I love subs.
Grinders.
Yes.
We call them subs. I'm from Baltimore. We're not subs.
Right.
What's the best thing on your menu I've never had? I've had a lot of things on your menu, so watch it. I mean, I'm being honest with you.
Do you like spicy?
I used to like your chicken. You had like a chicken sandwich that had like a caprese thing going on.
That's the Fire on the Mountain.
I love that thing.
Yeah.
And here's
it's one
the
of our
problem.
most popular.
Well, here's the thing with the crab cake tour. I've never had your crab cake. You could be like, Dave's like, how can you never? Like, I gave Dave a hard time the night of Rebirth, and he got offended. I threw a thing on his thing. I'm like, how's the gumbo? Because I knew the band would be good.
Right.
So it was more like, all right, I know the band's going to be good. Is the food any good?
Right.
And it was just me kidding around. He's like, I'll put our food against anybody. I'm like, dude, don't be pissed at me.
Not trying to fight.
You know what I did? I said to my wife, we better go eat his gumbo tonight. You know,
Right.
I better go down there and make right. So I wound up getting gumbo and wings out on the deck. And we wound up, like, listening to the music. It was a little loud. My
Right.
wife's got some sensitivity in her
Okay.
ears after her cancer. So I did the crab cake tour because I eat the same-ish every place I go.
Right.
I was at Nacho Mama's last week doing the crab cake tour with Steve Elliott, Allison Elliott, Nancy Hafford, just great people. Please go listen to the conversations. They were some of my favorite people. And I had never been to the Towson location. No offense to you or Dave. I've had 100 meals here. I might have had 500 meals at Nacho Mama's in Canton because
Right.
there's more East Side, my neighborhood,
Right.
early days, all that. Hanging in Canton, chasing girls in the night, all that. I had never had his crab cake. I think I maybe at Mama's with my mother on Mother's Day 20 years, like
Right.
a long time. But, like, I get the same thing. I got
Right.
chicken tacos and margarita cake. Like, I get the same thing.
Right.
And in your place, I've had the Fire on the Mountain 25 times here.
Right. I'm a creature of habit, too. I get a buffalo chicken wrap all the time. You know.
What's the best thing on your menu? The buffalo chicken wrap, apparently, according to you.
Oh, according to me.
Beth, who's your manager, said she had some roasted something sandwich. Fire? No.
The Cubano?
Nah, I don't know what it was.
Oh, the roast turkey BLT.
Yes, she said it
Very
was fantastic.
popular. It's very good.
She told me that. I'm
Yeah.
getting a crab cake.
Slow roast turkey.
You know why I'm getting a crab cake? Because Dave put it online, and I've never had it.
Okay. Well, it is the crab cake challenge as well.
Well, it's not a challenge. It's just a tour.
Just a tour.
Well,
Okay.
people do this to me. They're like, "Where's the best one? Tell me the best one." I'm like, well, "What do you like? Do you like mustardy? Do you like sweet? Do you like Old Bay? Do you like it fried? Do you like it broiled?" I'm a fried guy, but I've eaten a lot of broiled crab cakes the last 2. I've eaten a lot of crab cakes.
Right.
And I've only had 3 or 4 that I didn't like. I had one I had to, like, send back at St.
Right.
Michael's. And this is sort of life, right? Hard to get a bad crab cake in Maryland.
Right.
I'm expecting this crab cake to be fantastic because I know Dave, I know his palate, I know the
Right.
New Orleans thing. I'm almost expecting you to serve it with remoulade, like serve it New Orleans style,
Right.
Because that's how I know you.
Right. Well, we do. Here we go.
All right, it's coming. All right,
It's coming.
What's on it? Does it come with remoulade? Does it come with tart? How do you really serve it? Would it come with
we give
tartar
you the
or
option
remoulade?
of
Or would your server
cocktail
say?
they would ask you, would you like cocktail, tartar?
All right. So you do cocktail and tartar. Okay.
But
This
we
is-
can do remoulade.
Well, this is very important. By the way, I'm going to ask you this now that the crab cake came, and I don't want to. I need to get an I Love Hot Mom shirt at some. I've never owned one,
Okay.
and I've always wanted one.
You should.
Yeah, I mean they're.
What are you, like a large?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because I'm eating crab cakes.
All right. Hey,
Used to be a-
Teresa.
Used to be a medium. Now I'm a large. I'm going to be an extra large after this. Look at this crab cake. Look at how good. Look at how good this looks, right? This is why people say, "Why are you doing the crab cake tour?" And I'm like,
Why not?
have you seen this? What else am I doing on a Friday afternoon 6 blocks from home with a backache? By the way, my back's killing me, so I'm sitting funny.
sorry.
Well,
Lean
she
in,
got
lean
me
out.
she got me a padded seat. I invited Teresa over because she's got like So Botanicals, and things are going to she's going to bring things for my like oils and essential stuff
Right. I use her products all the time.
that's going to fix me.
Yeah.
What did you get there? There's no crab on that.
I'm allergic. We already went through this.
Is there anchovy on that?
No.
All right, you sure?
Basically, I got our mother's cob, but it comes with shrimp on it. But I got it obviously without shrimp. Just a little.
She's shellfish intolerant. Kelly Rather's here. She's sitting in for Dave. Something about Jazz Fest and him being there.
Right.
How many Jazz Fests has he been to in a row? 100?
I think he's at 23.
Okay.
No, more than that. 20. No, I think this is 27.
I've been to 27 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I think
I've
he's
never
at,
been to Jazz Fest. You know why? It's too crowded. I've never, like, to me, New Orleans, I don't love New Orleans. I don't hate New Orleans. I mean, I was there the night before the storm with Katrina and had to evacuate. I mean, hey, you know, I was there when we won a Super Bowl. Oh, I led that march with like 10,000 people from the.
Right.
Yeah, so I've done
Yeah.
I like. But I don't need. New Orleans is cool when it's not crowded for me.
Right.
I want to go when it's normal, and that's rare.
Right.
I've only been there for Super Bowls, and I
Right.
spent 2 months of my life in New Orleans, and most of it's been Super Bowl related.
Right.
Because I go down there or Raven related. I've been to
Right.
3 or 4 Ravens games over the years, right? Preseason, Katrina. But like going down there in the middle of summer, it's hot as hell,
it's sweaty.
right? I mean, it's really soupy. So you got to pick your spots. I just don't want to be down there where I can't move, you know?
Right. Well, Dave also has Saints season tickets, so he hits a lot of Saints games as well. So we'll hit those when the Ravens are away, and that's a really good time. Like, you know, not necessarily that they're playing the Ravens, but just like going to, you know, a random Saints game. A lot of energy in the dome.
How long is he at Saints still? I don't know this about Dave. Why do I not know this?
Well, after Hurricane Katrina, they couldn't sell tickets. And that's how he felt he could support the city. So he bought 6 season tickets.
Wow.
And like Dave, with a horseshoe up his butt, then they become a Super Bowl winning team. And, you know, he sells them on StubHub and actually does well with them now.
Probably better than mothers did during the plague, right?
Exactly.
Except they weren't playing football.
Right.
Kelly's here. We're going to have a bunch of visitors. And this is really unique today because I invited some dudes, but they didn't want any part of me today. So it's all females on the program today. It's the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. It's brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Let yourself play. I'm letting myself have a crab cake here. So this has become a big source of contention for me. Cocktail being served on $60 a pound crab meat. A lot of people frowned upon that. Tartar is served everywhere I've ever been, and I've never – tartar sauce is for fish sticks. Like, I don't understand it. But you don't eat crab cake, so I'm, like, talking to the wall. But can I get some remoulade? Yeah,
my dad always did mustard.
Mustard and crackers.
Yeah.
That's East Baltimore style.
Yeah, he would take a saltine, put a little mustard, and put his crab cake on there.
Well, that was more like a claw meat. I grew up poor. I'm from Dundalk.
Okay.
So when you're from Dundalk, you put a bunch of stuff, seasoning.
Right.
You know, you bring it to life, and you fry the hell out of it in the pan, and you serve it with crackers. And I don't like mustard. I like cocktail.
Right.
So I would eat that with cocktail. An East Side crab cake. And I tell people all the time, like, there's a place down in Annapolis called Davis's Pub that serves them that way. They serve them the way they were at Memorial Stadium. They're little fried hockey pucks. They're delicious. They're not a jumbo lump. It's not that, but they also had the best tartar I've ever had.
Okay.
And it was really good. It wasn't Mrs. Fish Sticks, Mrs. Gordon Fisher. No.
Mrs.
This
Field.
was like...
that's cookies.
This was artisan. This had like tarragon and lemon and like stuff in it. It was really, really good. It was really complimentary to the crab cake. So what's the best crab? They're all really weirdly different.
Right.
And I think this one's, I saw this online. It's Dave's fault. And I actually thought of you guys first when the mayor canceled because I wanted to come down. I love these smashed potatoes. I haven't had these in like 3 years. So everybody was trying to fatten me up on a tour. French fries, potato chips. Here, have some bread. Greek people. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Dessert. You have to. No, dessert. I'm getting chunky. I got to watch
this. I don't need any baklava with my crab cake.
Right. Cookies. They want to give me cookies. So this is remoulade. So give me Dave's thing with New Orleans. So do I understand it? Like, because I've never really asked him why he's so New Orleans centric, and Mother's is like an extension of that. Period. Right.
Of course. Yeah. The music. The music started it all. You know, he started out, following the Dead, and then one of his friends went down to New Orleans to manage the Radiators and worked at Tipitina's. And from there, Dave went down to visit him and just loved the vibe, loved the scene, started following the bands himself, and then he started a social and travel club, which was called Mom's Social and Travel Club.
I remember this.
Right, and he would take groups
This is in the 90s, right?
He would take groups to New Orleans for Jazz Fest and Mardi Gras.
I used to see the pictures.
Right. The social club became so popular that once the social club grew, that's where he decided he wanted to start a bar restaurant because of the fact that he wanted a place to be like home for his club. And then the restaurant took off and the club went away.
And then the Ravens came to town. So right in the middle of all of that.
Right. So he worked at Empty Pockets after he graduated college, but he sold houses first. And then he went and worked at Empty Pockets only to learn how to run a restaurant.
So he didn't grow up like slumming in bars at all?
No, I grew up in the restaurant industry. And then it ended up being that
she served me drinks at Turner's 30 years ago. We just talked about the holograms and everybody remembers Turner. Yeah, I mean, so when I think of Cross Street, that was my gateway drug.
I was your local bartender.
Turner's had cheap drinks, great service, obviously, and holograms
and hot bartenders
and pit beef out in front. $3 pit beef sandwiches out in front. She's off mic. She doesn't know it. It's okay. It's radio. She thinks we can hear her, but we can't. I want to talk about the crab cake and where the recipe came from.
Okay.
Before I don't be disrespectful and start pounding into it without knowing what's going on.
Okay.
So this is broiled.
Yes.
I can see that. I didn't ask for broiled or fried. Would you fry it?
My grandmother fried them.
They fall apart if you're not careful. If you fry.
But I would say the majority of our client base wants them broiled.
Okay.
We give the customer the option.
All right, so I'm going to get after this here. This looks to me like it's got some Old Bay in it. This is she doesn't eat crab. Beth, do you eat crab? All right. Well, I don't have anything to compare it to with you other than to say I'm looking at it and I see a slurry that's going to have a little kick to it.
Okay.
I feel like this is going to have some spice to it. So let me see. East Baltimore, absolutely. Old school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Traditional
Baltimore. Traditional Baltimore recipe.
Yep.
There's a lot of not a lot, but
enough.
Not spicy hot, but I can taste it.
Right. Just a little. Psh.
Now I'm going to do something here that I haven't done in a couple of weeks.
Whisper. Right.
I'm going to have beer with it. When I taste the Old Bay in a crab cake, it makes me
want a beer.
Want a beer. I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of crab cakes. Yes, what's the challenge or. There's a lot of crab cakes that don't taste like this. On the Eastern Shore, sweeter, much sweeter. The meat's sweeter. It's probably fresher out of the water in August off a boat, right? You see the female roe in it. So there's something about the Eastern Shore that the recipes are much more simple, but sort of the crab meat's Gucci. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's really the $60 a pound kind. And in Baltimore, I think we fried them so long, and that Old Bay is a staple part. I haven't had a crab cake in Baltimore without you might use J.O. Old Bay, either way. Chesapeake Bay spices, led by paprika. But in Baltimore, this is the way it comes. Not necessarily everywhere else. And it took me a little while to figure that out.
Okay.
There are different recipes. People use different things. On the east side, I had never made a crab cake without celery seed in it. I taste the celery seed in this. Now, it may be in your old – I can actually see it.
Yeah.
I had a restaurateur say to me, sit on the set with me 2 months ago and say, there's no celery seed in my crab cake. I'm like, all right. I swear to God, I pulled out, I left, and I had one in my tooth. Because I love celery seed. That's like a little gift in there. I'm like – and it might have been in the soup.
I love celery seed.
Okay, so we can agree on that.
It's delicious.
All right, we're at Mother's. We're at Federal Hill. Tell everybody about the other locations, too, because Dave fell in love with New Orleans. We have a New Orleans-style menu. I got some remoulade that I'm going to have on this crab cake here because it's Mother's, what you're supposed to do. But you still doing music, still doing events? I mean,
we are.
Give me the whole lowdown. I'll eat and you talk about Mother's.
Okay. Okay, well, we have our Timonium location, which is on Broad Street, where the Brick Bodies is.
Padonia.
Yeah, like Padonia Road.
Padonia, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have that one. Does really well. The guys who are running it do an excellent job. Shout out to Alvin and Ian for crushing it. And then
I used to meet Joe Enoch for lunch at Mother's in Temecula. That was our spot,
right?
Because he had Enoch office around the corner, longtime sponsor, dear friend Joe and Candace. So you were
running our printers.
You were my Timonium headquarters there for lunch.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
And guess what I ordered? Fire on the Mountain.
Fire on the Mountain.
So well, that's what I always get.
Right.
So okay.
Yeah. Then we have our Anne Arundel County location, which is on Ritchie Highway.
Which I didn't even know where it was, so I drove by it a couple weeks ago.
Right. Like I said.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Yeah.
Ooh, that got kicked.
Yeah.
All right. Look at that.
Yeah.
I need a beer.
Turn it up a notch. Beth, can this man have a beer, please?
Oh, she's gonna say what kind? Oh, now, can I have a? How do I get a beer menu here, Beth?
You asked me.
Beth, may I please have a beer menu? All right, great.
Stat.
That's all right. Well, I need a beer now.
Right.
That got me in a boo-boo.
Yeah.
You tell Dave he did me dirty.
All
Send
right.
that Remoulade out here.
I put the remoulade on everything. I order French fries. I get a side of remoulade.
That would taste good with a French fry.
Right.
I totally feel that.
And between that and our Chipotle mayonnaise, and another fantastic thing is our blue cheese. Our blue cheese is homemade. Well, we're actually 95% scratch kitchen. So all of our
I've
dressings.
had your blue cheese many times because I get your wings.
Right.
I come here for the wings.
Yeah. So our ranch and blue cheese are house made.
And you know what? In the neighborhood, when I'm in the mood for wings, I come to you.
Okay.
I know I got wings.
I
was
appreciate
here.
that.
I was here the night that we had a concert. All right. Oh man, this is too much. Can I take a break for my beer?
Yeah.
I say goodbye to you. I want to get Teresa on, Tracy on.
I love it.
I want to finish up with you, and then I'll get a beer.
Okay.
I get all the heat's gone. I think.
It's on or
I'm
gone.
not as sensitive. As I get older, the heat doesn't bother me as much.
Right.
I'm less.
I love the heat.
Yeah, it wasn't like as a kid. I didn't love it, but I'm
Yeah.
getting. It makes me thirsty for beer. Gives me another excuse.
Yeah, there you
Super
go.
fun.
I mean, you live close enough. You can have as many as you want.
Stumbling distance for sure.
Right.
6 blocks.
We'll carry you if we need
I
to.
can see my bedroom window. I can see my
Right.
kitty in the
Well,
window right there.
Beth will carry your equipment, and security will carry you.
No, I'll just leave the equipment, come back and get it when my back feels better. But the Maryland Crab Cake Tour, we're at Mother's. We'll come down to Anne Arundel. We'll go up to Timonium. But for this location, this is sort of homestead, right? I mean, Purple
Yeah.
Patio, games,
Yeah.
memories, lots of memories.
Right.
You know,
Lots of engagements, lots of babies, lots of weddings, lots of everything.
I never made any babies here.
Right? Yeah. Okay. There's probably been some babies made in the bathroom, I'm sure.
The night that the Ravens clinched in 2000,
Uh-huh.
we played the Chargers that night.
Right.
It was a really good night.
It was.
It was a great night.
Yeah.
It was a great night at Mother's. It was a good night. Had a lot of fun here that night.
I remember when we won the Super Bowl that year, girls jumped up on the bar and were spraying champagne. They started taking their clothes off. I'm like, you got to put your clothes back on.
You know, my memory of that night, I was at the game. I was in Tampa. I went into the locker room. I was there for, like, when Art came in with the Kikuan nuts on from Eben Mulatalo and told, you know, you made me proud. I was
Right.
there. I'm crying. It's a mess. I leave to go to the team party, and I had to get on, like, a little shuttle bus.
Right.
And I'm in the park, like, the lights of the stadium. Everybody's pretty much gone. It's about an hour, 2 hours after the game. My mother calls me on my cell phone. My mother died. She was 98 3 years ago. So my mother was born in 1990. She's 82 years old.
Okay.
Okay, she's 82. So she's watching the Ravens win the Super Bowl. She calls me. I'll never forget. I'm on the shuttle. She's like, there's girls on TV taking their clothes off, you know.
Right.
They're walking down Pratt Street. They ain't got no top on.
Right.
So
It was crazy.
it's funny that you would remember that, the same memory I remember.
Right. I had a friend call me from New Orleans because I was on the roof throwing beads out to the crowd. And
That's why they didn't have clothes on.
I'm throwing beads out to the crowd. She's like, Kelly, you're on CNN. I'm like, what?
And you wonder why I've wanted a I Love Hot Mom shirt. You know, I don't know if it's family appropriate for our friends at the Maryland Lottery. Let yourself play, but
Everybody
beads.
loves hot
No wonder
moms.
this place
Come
feels
on.
like New Orleans, right? Because, like, you throw beads out.
Right.
Keep my wife away from here. Although my wife's beautiful, my wife's been in New Orleans, but I've never been a part of like that sort of mayhem in New Orleans because I've never gone down there for that. But Super Bowls are fun.
Right. But when we go
I've been
down,
hitting the head with beads at Super Bowl
right,
week.
we're not on Bourbon Street. We're like uptown at the music clubs or on Frenchman Street. We're not in that mayhem
Lower Garden, like that.
That smells and is not.
So okay, so you don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not walking down Bourbon Street.
I've never been to Tipitina's.
Tipitina's is amazing. Maple Leaf.
All right, I'm going with you guys. Is the Mom's Social Club still open?
No, we had to shut down shop. 4 kids, 3 restaurants. They took over our
2
life.
Super Bowls and a partridge in a pear tree.
Exactly.
And a crab cake on a plate. Thanks. I appreciate you.
My
I'm trying not to touch
pleasure.
people. We're doing this outside. I had a guy pissed at me last week about, you're doing a COVID mask. And I'm like, it's Purple Friday. I got my mask, and we're all good. But we're outside. It feels good. It's a beautiful day. It's October. I remember October was cold before global warming. Remember that?
I do remember
you couldn't
cold
do short
October.
sleeve. Yeah, I mean, it's my birthday.
I remember my mom
snowing
put my
to the World Series.
Right, my long johns on when I went out trick-or-treating because it was too cold outside. Now it's like you can go out in a tank top in the middle of October.
I just hope it doesn't sink New Orleans.
I
right?
hope so,
Or
too.
Ocean City, for that
Or
matter.
Iceland.
or anywhere for that matter. I'm going to get a beer. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this crab cake. Teresa's here. Tracy's here. Anna's coming over. I have to tell Anna to come a little earlier. I did have dudes. They all bailed on me. So it's Ladies Friday. It's Purple Friday.
And it's Ladies Night.
I would have worn pink for breast cancer awareness if I would have really had thought this through.
Right.
I can run home and do it between segments, but then my crab cake will get cold.
But you can't run either.
I can't run anywhere.
Right.
I'm not. When this segment's over, you're going to need a crane to get me up.
Okay.
Dr. Steve, I love you. Elliott Chiropractic Life, there's a free plug for him. The Maryland Crab Cake Tour is presented by the Maryland Lottery. I also want to give a shout-out to my friend Dennis Colazzos from Coons Ford. He'll be here on Sunday before the game. He's here on Thursday as well. Luke is in Owings Mills doing all things Ravens, getting us ready. Got a month of home games right now, and I can't get much closer to the home game than the Purple Patio. I'm in my neighborhood, Federal Hill. We're telling great stories with some great ladies, some great businesses. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. Taking a break. I'm having a beer and a crab cake, thinking of my mom because it's Friday.